Yo guys, it's Pierce again, back with another video. And today I just wanted to pass on some wisdom to my younger self by going through the top 5 things I wish I knew as a teenager. Just for some background on Teen Pierce, I was pretty insecure. I really wanted to feel accepted, even if I didn't respect or like the person myself. And to feel accepted, I would bend my morals and the truth, just to kind of not feel left out. And this led to me becoming a liar pretty much. If you knew me back in school, you probably knew a version of me that was a bit like a chameleon, so depending on who I was talking to, I would basically switch up my whole persona. So I would basically become a version of myself that I thought that person would like. And this ended up with me having to keep up with so many lies that I just couldn't even keep up with it myself.
Stupid.
Anyway, enough about me. Without further delay, let's get into the list. Tip number 1, focus on your mental health. As a teen, your mental health is probably your afterthought. Since you've got all these exams and all these tests, and of course you just have to remember the latest TikTok dance by tomorrow, or everyone's gonna laugh at you. But what you must realize is that your mental health literally determines almost everything about your life, and having good mental health at a young age will drastically improve the course of your life. And a good place to start is to assess your current mental health. Okay, so scroll down to the description of this video right now, and I want you to take the NHS mental health assessment test. It literally takes around 2 minutes to take. Once you've taken this test, you'll roughly know how anxious and depressed you are. And this is very valuable information, especially for a teenager, since a lot of the time you'll be going through something and you don't understand why you react a certain way to it. And it could just be because you're literally depressed or you have high levels of anxiety. If you scored high in either of these metrics, don't feel like your life is over. Just be grateful that you know now. A lot of people don't actually know this until they're deep into their 20s or even in their 30s. And this will give you a good reference point to refer to in the future. Prioritizing your mental health at a young age has so many benefits. It helps you develop resilience in life and allows you to cope with whatever life throws at you. And most importantly, it will help you mature into a well-rounded, healthy adult. I really wish I was more aware of my mental health as a teenager. Because to be honest, I don't think I even knew what mental health was. All I knew is that, sometimes I was happy and other times I wasn't. By putting effort into your mental health and becoming that guy or girl who's level-headed and has actually taken time to invest in their mental health, you will most likely stick out from, your scatterbrained peers. This may seem a bit scary at first because I'm sure you would, love to kind of blend in with other teens and that kind of shit, but realistically, why would you want to blend in with people who have not taken any time to develop their mental health and who are probably, addicted to substances or social media, etc., and have not put any time into developing their minds? And once people around you see how much you're benefiting from focusing on yourself and, focusing on your mental health, they want to emulate you. Tip number 2, build small but productive habits. If you scored high on the depression or anxiety scales, it's most likely due to the fact you have quite a few bad habits. If you're a teen in 2022, it's quite likely that you're addicted to TikTok or Instagram or some other form of social media. You have like 6+ hours of screen time each day. You probably spend way too much time inside. You don't exercise, eat healthy food, meditate, play sports, or read. I know this because as a teenager I was the same, except I had Facebook instead of TikTok. By swapping out the mindless scrolling that a lot of teens do and instead replacing it with even half an hour of reading, exercise, or just meditation, you will see massive increases in your happiness. By building these small but productive habits at a young age, you will grow into a disciplined and productive person who has a great body and mind. Who wouldn't want that? If I'm being honest, this is something I really wish I started earlier, because I didn't start exercising or reading regularly until I was into my early 20s. And the effects have been so good that I haven't stopped since. In my opinion, your teenage years are kind of like the building blocks to the person you're most likely to become. By building these good habits early in life, you really set yourself up to, have a better life as an adult. But this will most likely come at the cost of, fitting in with your peers right now. And I personally would say that is, a price that you should be willing to pay. If you're a big gamer like I was as a teen, I really do recommend you take regular breaks from gaming. Whether it's only playing a couple hours, a couple days a week, or if you have the stomach for it, just cutting out gaming altogether during periods where you need to focus. Although I have, a lot of fun memories of playing video games with my friends, whether it was Halo, FIFA Pro Clubs or whatever. There was a lot of times where I did kind of just play by myself, those solo sessions where, I was kind of just playing because I didn't have anything else to do and I wasn't even having that much fun, but I was just doing it anyway. By cutting out these boring solo sessions and replacing them with, healthy habits like meditating, reading an interesting book, exercise, you are scientifically proven to increase your happiness. Okay, tip number 3, build some skills. Another thing I wish I focused on as a teenager was building skills. I was pretty introverted as a teen, so I didn't really often put myself in uncomfortable situations or situations I wasn't really familiar with. But as an adult, I now realize that comfort is really the enemy of growth. And since, as a young person, your mind is literally like a sponge, you're able to learn things a lot quicker than you are as an adult. General life skills are so important. And the quicker you learn these skills, the better quality of life you'll have. These basic skills include, the basic cooking, cleaning, time and money management, and most importantly, it's very underrated, stress management, just to name a few. And a good way to accelerate learning these skills, in my opinion, is to get a part-time job, and especially one where you need to communicate with others, whether it's the public or with colleagues. I think retail is a good example. And the main reason I think this is because having a part-time job as a teenager will actually allow you to see how competent you really are. Because teenagers always think they know everything. So I feel like once you actually get a job, you kind of realize, okay, I don't know fucking anything. This is because you'll need to be accountable for your own time and create your own schedule, which will make you aware of how competent you are or most likely aren't. Also, by working in public-facing jobs like retail or hospitality as a teen, as fucked up as it sounds, you'll actually be face-to-face with your potential future. And that's because you'll meet adults who will show you exactly where you don't want to be in 20 years' time. No offense to them, but you'll meet the 45-year-old guy who's been working retail for the last 25 years and he's never made up the ladder and he's just content, working the same retail job for 25 years. You get the idea. You'll meet that guy and then you'll realize that, okay, I need to take some shit seriously. Another skill I'd recommend teens to build is social skills. It's quite ironic that, in the age of social media, so many teens these days have absolutely no social skills. And for me, social skills are so important to living a full, complete life. Because realistically, how useful are you if you can't even talk to people? And schools and unis are actually the perfect place to, test out and build these social skills. You're literally surrounded by so many people who are in the same situation as you, who have so many things that they can relate to you about. So I would say to, use this environment to your advantage. You can even use that as a playground to, test out your social skills. Just go up to random people, start a conversation. If it goes well, great. If not, oh well, there's another person right there, just start another one. Or if that's too scary, just talk to that person in your class that you never speak to. Why not just start a conversation, ask them about how the day's going, ask them about themselves and genuinely try and get to know them. Just know that the worst that can happen is that they're not interested in talking to you. And once you do, get your first couple rejections socially, you kind of realize oh, it wasn't actually that bad. The world didn't end. I didn't suddenly just die on the spot. It was fine. Tip number 4, stop caring about what others think and stop chasing meaningless relationships. As a young person, especially in today's society, you care a lot about what other people think about you. Are you cool? Are you funny? Is she flirting with you? The answer to all these questions is most likely no. But anyway, why should you care? You can't control what other people think about you, and any attempt to do so will just literally drive you crazy. Take it from me, all my fondest memories as a teen were times where I was being my, true, just unfiltered self. I wasn't trying to be anyone else. I was just being myself, not really caring about how I was perceived. And these times of, being yourself is the times where you actually meet people who like you for you and not for who you're pretending to be. And also, don't put so much energy into impressing random people. In the grand scheme of your life, most of the people that you meet during your teenage years play absolutely no part in it whatsoever. This is something I've had to wrap my head around myself recently because I do remember times when I was a teenager being so, obsessed with making people like me. And now I realized there was these same people that put so many hours into grafting, trying to get them to like me. They're nowhere to be seen. Like, yeah, they're not involved in my life whatsoever. And why would they be? Like, we were living our own lives, doing our own things, making our own choices. And if I'm being honest, no one cares about you as much as you think they do. We're all far too concerned, worrying about our own lives to think about how cringe you may or may not be. And by the way, take this as a good thing. Like, the fact no one cares about you should, give you a sense of freedom. The fact that, the thoughts in your mind that tell you, oh, that person's looking at me, or that person thinks I'm this. Realistically, they probably just looked at you for a second and then kept on doing what they were doing. Like, it's not that deep. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you can actually begin making, long-term friends. Friends that you never feel like you need to impress or need to prove your worth to. Tip number 5, experiment and take risks. As a young person, you should really try as many different things as possible. This is probably the period in your life where you have the least to lose, in terms of consequences or failure anyway. If you feel like you want to be the next Jimi Hendrix, there's so many YouTube videos online teaching you how to play guitar. You should go save up some money, buy a guitar and learn. If you want to be the next Picasso, again, there's so many resources out there that can teach you how to draw. You can save up, buy some supplies, learn to draw, why not? Like, as a teen, you're so likely to kind of talk yourself out of trying things. And it's really just from a place of, uncertainty, just not knowing what could or couldn't happen. But really, this is a time where you should just, if you've got an instinct to try something, just try it. Within reason, of course. Like, I'm not saying, go out and do heroin or something, but yeah. This is the time to try as many things as possible to try and find your thing. And the earlier you start the search, the more likely you are to stumble across something that could turn into a passion. And just remember, no one's gonna remember all the hobbies that you failed at, all the hobbies you tried for a week and then gave up at. Like, no one's really gonna remember all that except for you. And use that fact to your advantage by, taking smart risks. When an opportunity arises to do something that you're interested in but unsure about, just try it anyway. Even in the worst case scenario, future you will be grateful for the lesson that they learned from that failure. I wish I failed at things a bit earlier in life, just because by getting your first failures out of the way as a teenager, it removes the fear factor of, the risky but potentially valuable experiences, which is a invaluable trait as an adult. So just to recap, the 5 things I wish I knew as a teen are: 1, focus on your mental health; 2, build small but productive habits; 3, build some skills; 4, stop caring about what others think / stop chasing meaningless relationships; and 5, experiment and take risks. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful and you're able to learn from some of my many mistakes. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button down below and leave me a comment if you're a teen. Let me know what it's like to be a teen nowadays, because I've got no clue. It was kind of mad. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And as always, why you survive, you can thrive.